Yeah, I just had to say something. The Democrats are about to get their ass kicked for the fact that they didn't campaign on the economy at all. But I wanted to say some stuff about the economy today. Um, the Republicans won't fix it. When if they win the House, the Republicans are not going to fix the economy. And if you think otherwise, you need to educate yourself more or think deeper about it and think twice. Um, what am I alluding to, and like what is the basis for my opinion? Well, stick with it. To explain, it's basically just that the GOP has no incentive to actually do so if it wins. I mean, they were remember back a couple of years ago when you know everything else was the economy had crashed after the financial crisis. Do you know how much the Republicans obstructed after the financial crisis started? I mean, they did that because they knew that Americans have a tendency to, you know, be frustrated that the two sides can't put aside differences and work together, and that they will tend to distribute blame, in both directions, and then people will pick the party that basically says that government doesn't work because there's an appearance that government is failing in that environment, and that they'll vote Republican basically. They're going to do exactly the same thing now that the Democrats in power, in the White House. Biden won the election. Biden is the president, and he'll be the president even after this midterm is over. And what Republicans are going to want to prefer is to use their power to keep the economy in the toilet for as long as possible and prevent, the Democrats from doing anything to help, the economy, because they know that the American people will be like, it's Biden's fault. Now, there are a couple of reasons why, like, I don't think that it's Biden's fault. Myself, if you'd stick with me and give me just a little bit more of your time, um, OPEC Plus, as far as gas producers, has refused ultimately to boost production. The shale producers, by the way, the story of shale over the past couple of years has been that shale gas has been unprofitable, and now that it suddenly is profitable, they're declining to invest in new exploration and boost production because the truth of the matter is that they need to repay their investors because they've been hurting and they need to change Wall Street's mind about having invested in shale in the first place. So there's that going on as well on top of everything. If you look into the headlines about the shale gas producers over the last few years, you do not have to take my word for this take. You can look into it yourself. Do your own research, obviously, into it, and you'll find out. That shale has been in that boat, and that's exactly what's going on. You know, this information may not be exactly up to the minute. Before cuffing it and writing it, I didn't check on the markets exactly up to the very second that I produced it and put it forward. I just for a lack of wanting to put in the time before I make this argument, because this argument doesn't. It's not about that. I don't need to go in and pull that stuff up to strengthen it. But the thing is that the GOP will have zero incentive to actually fix the economy because they can tell you that it's Biden's fault, that gas prices are high, and there are a few things that you should look into. In this country, most people don't want a small fuel efficient vehicle. They don't want a sensible vehicle. They want a big gas guzzler that's a oversized truck. Now, I'm not going to fault anybody here that has like a business or an actual need, something that that's like a function that makes it like functionally necessary that they have a truck. But if you have a truck, an SUV, a van, or any fuel efficient inefficient vehicle that you do not need, and you've been driving it about over the past couple of months and the past year, you have bought a bunch of gasoline that you would not have needed to do if you had gotten into a more reasonable vehicle, which means that all that demand helped also push prices up, and that will not get better under a Republican administration. If they happen to win, none of those factors will improve ultimately about what's happening in the market at all. Um, and so Republicans they're gonna do everything they can to keep the economy in the shitter in the hopes that you'll blame Biden and Trump can retake the White House. It's the truth of the matter. It's not a very decent, the Republicans are like that, they've been like that for a long time. Also, by the way, they plan on, trying to use brinkmanship tactics to force the Democrats to, make cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid all over again. And my message to Biden is not one penny, and let them leave the government shutdown for the whole fucking 2 years. Don't give them anything.